Hi, my name is Deb from DG Reads, and this is my furry sidekick, Kylie. As you can probably tell from the very precariously stacked books in front of me, I have a lot of books to haul for you, so let's get into it. Alright, those book stacks did not last. They pretty much fell on me the second I put Kylie down. It doesn't work well with wiggly puppies. But anyway, let's get into the books. I had an amazing month in May for bookmail and also a scary month for bookmail. My goal of unhauling more books than I haul really has not been going well this year. I think right now I'm at 50 more hauled than unhauled, and we're almost halfway through the year. These books are in no particular order apart from starting with those that were gifted to me. I've got Eye of the Beholder by Emma Bamford, and this one was gifted to me by Gallery Books, and it comes out on August 6th. It says it's inspired by Alfred Hitchcock's classic thriller Vertigo, and it says it's an original and sinister novel about the beauty industry, a ghostwriter, and the reappearance of a lover she thought was dead. So definitely intrigued to check this one out. Titled Creatures by Sean McGuire is one that was gifted to me by Tor.com, and this is the third book in the Alchemical Journeys books, which started with Middle Game, continued with Seasonal Fears, and now we're at this one. I don't want to read too much about it because I haven't read the second book yet, but I really loved Middle Game, so I'm excited for this. Craft Stories I Wrote for the Devil is by Amanda Lima, and this one was gifted to me by Tor. I actually just finished reading this one and had a really good time with it. It's a unique way of telling short stories in the sense that the first story is about the writer within the book sleeping with the devil, and then throughout their life they continue seeing the devil and they write short stories kind of inspired by him or to him. So this was a lot of fun. Next up we have Pink Slime by Fernanda Trias. This is a translated novel translated by Heather Cleary, and I was gifted this copy from Scribner. This one says it's a novel about a woman and the people who depend on her as the world around her is on the brink of apocalypse. And this is the author's US debut, but it sounds like they're an award-winning Latin American author. Next up I have The Good Ones by Polly Stewart. This is a recent paperback release, I believe, and I was gifted a copy from Harper. And this is following a woman as she's exploring the disappearance of a friend. And it sounds like it's very much kind of a coming of age type of novel. Next up we have In Universes by Emmett North. This one is a very recent release, just came out on April 30th, and I was gifted a copy from Harper. We're following Raffi, who works in the field of dark matter, even though he doesn't fully understand his own research. He apparently has a crush on someone and really has been wishing that there's an alternate universe where they get together and then all of a sudden they are, or something along those lines. I love multiverse type stories and how those work out, so excited for this one. I have The Silver Blood Promise, and this is by James Logan. It just came out on April 25th from Tor. This is a fantasy novel, but revolving around a murder mystery. I always enjoy those kind of combinations. And then I've got Fractal Noise by Christopher Polini. This is a gifted copy from Tor. It's just recently releasing in paperback, and this is the prequel novel to Sleep in a Sea of Stars. I really enjoyed that one a lot, so I've been wanting to pick this one up. Next up I have The Dissonance by Sean Hamill, and this one comes out on July 23rd. This is a gifted arc from Pantheon. I don't really know a whole lot about the plot of this one, but I've had the author's Cosmology of Monsters on my shelf and I've really been trying to get to it, so I definitely wanted to check this one out as well. It says it's an epic contemporary fantasy, a story of dark magic, terrible mistakes, and second chances. So definitely some buzzwords for me. Then I've got Amphibious Soul, Finding the Wild in a Tame World. This is by Craig Foster, and I got a gifted copy from Harper One. This one came out on May 14th. This one I actually just finished reading, and it's part memoir, part kind of exploration of the natural world, about humans' connection to that natural world. Had a lot of interesting thoughts in it. Then we've got Mind Games by Nora Roberts. This was a gifted copy from St. Martin's Press. I actually read this one in a vlog. It'll be the vlog, I believe that's the one up right before this video, so I will include a link below. So here are my thoughts on this one. Next up, I have First Light by Liz Karen, and this one was gifted to me by Tor Nightfire. This is the sequel to Night's Edge, which I really enjoyed. It's a vampire story and a little bit of a different one. In this one, it's 9 months after the end of the last one, and we're following our main character on a quest for revenge, it sounds like. I've got You're Safe Here, and this is by Leslie Stevens. This is a gifted arc from Scout Press, and this one comes out on June 25th. This is following 3 women with different choices, different consequences, and it calls itself a timely, clever, white-knuckled thriller. And then I have The Master by Colm Tobin, and this is a gifted copy from Scribner. And this one is a fictional account of the life of Henry James. Then I've got Swiped by L.M. Chilton. This is a gifted copy from Gallery, and this one just came out on May 21st. It is a book that's following the mystifying world of online dating, which gets terrifying, clever, and darkly hilarious twist in this unputdownable thriller. Next up, I have Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, and this is by John Berendt, and this was a gifted copy from Random House. This is a true crime novel about a shooting in Savannah in the early 1980s and asking the question, was it murder or self-defense? Next up, I've got First Love, Essays on Friendship by Lily Dancer, and this one just came out on May 7th. This is nonfiction essay collection. And then I've got Our Hideous Progeny by C.E. McGill, and this one is a gifted copy from Harper Perennial. It came out on May 7th. This is following the great niece, I believe. Yes, the great niece of Victor Frankenstein, who doesn't know everything about her family's history, but apparently is looking into it. This actually is on my official TBR for June. And then I've got Mal Goes to War by Edward Ashton. This came out from St. Martin's Press in April. I've read this author before and found his to be kind of popcorn sci-fi type reads. We're following a free AI in a world where the humans are once again at war. He winds up trapped inside the body of a cyborg and winds up responsible for the modded girl that the cyborg had been protecting, apparently. Sounds like it should be a lot of fun. And last but certainly not least, I also enjoy a good cookbook. So I have the Feel Good Foodie Cookbook by Yumna Jawad, and this one is 125 recipes enhanced with Mediterranean flavor, and this was gifted to me by Random House. Moving on to the books that I actually purchased for myself during the month, there's quite a few of those as well. I've been skipping a lot of months of book of the month, so when I decided to order in May, I wound up going overboard with 4 books. So I've got The Return of Ellie Black. This is by Emiko Jean, and I've heard really good things about this one. A girl who disappeared years earlier returns in the woods of Washington State, and that raises a lot more questions. The Husbands by Holly Gramazio is magical realism fiction, and this one, a woman comes home from work to be greeted at the door by her husband, who she's never met before. And her life seems to have changed, it seems to have improved, but this husband goes into the attic, and then suddenly a different husband comes out. So it sounds weird, it sounds fun. The Reappearance of Rachel Price is by Holly Jackson, and this one is a true crime tied mystery thriller. A girl determined to uncover the shocking truth about her missing mother. And I really enjoyed A Girl's Guide to Murder by this author. Not so much the conclusion to that series, but I've heard pretty much good things about this one, so excited to give Holly Jackson another try. And then lastly, from Book of the Month, I have Daughter of Mine by Megan Miranda. This is following a woman who returns to her hometown, and then a drought winds up lowering the lake level to the point where secrets begin to emerge. Megan Miranda, I don't always love her books, but they are generally good popcorn thrillers for me. And then looking at some of my book box books, struggling there. I've got Blood Covenant by Alan Baxter, and this one I got in a Twisted Retreat box, and they do really pretty horror editions and unique covers and all of that. End papers, I don't know that you'd call it pretty as much as disturbing, and always nice foiling and stuff on the inside as well. This one begins with a bank heist. It doesn't go according to plan. The crew winds up bloodstained and angry. They go into hiding. That doesn't go as planned either, and ultimately the blood winds up awakening something malevolent. And then I've got a couple of Fairy Loot editions, one being Evocation by S.T. Gibson. This is one I've been highly anticipating. It is, as always, a gorgeous edition from Fairy Loot with pretty sprayed edges and all of that. This one has to do with making a deal with the devil, and then the devil comes to collect on what's due. And then Darker by 4, which was the YA book, and again, another stunning edition from Fairy Loot. I really love those edges. And there's a reverse jacket and beautiful foiling. This one I don't know a ton about. It is by June C.L. Tan, who's the author of Jadefire Gold, which I did read and enjoy. The pitch is that it's Shadowhunter Chronicles meets the Chinese underworld. And then I have a couple of pretty editions that did not come from book boxes. These are both Red Tower books, but this is Heavenbreaker by Sarah Wolfe, and it again has some really gorgeous edges on it, and this one really pretty underneath as well. Really gorgeous book. I actually just read this last week, and I had a pretty good time with it. There were a few things where I thought it could have used a little more world building, a little more depth, but it's high action, sci-fi fantasy, fast paced, and you can find my written review on my other platforms in June. And then Five Broken Blades, again, gorgeous edition from Red Tower. This one is following 6 different people, which winds up being 3 different couples, and kind of a heist being planned, and a lot of elements that I really enjoyed. I didn't so much love it in the end. It was more of a like, not a love, and my written review for this one will also be up in June. And then I had one more special edition, which is Home is Where the Bodies Are by Jennifer Rose, and this one is in the Barnes & Noble edition. You get a slipcase, which makes it look even more like the VHS tape that it is modeled on. When siblings are watching some home movies after the death of their mother, they find one where their parents are covered in blood and plotting to hide something. So lots of questions get raised, answers are needed, and I did read this one. It will be up in a vlog that I'm currently working on. Hopefully will be out sometime in June. And then a couple more that I picked up as pre-orders. I've got You Like It Darker by Stephen King. This is his brand new short story collection that just came out. I don't know much about this, but if Stephen King puts something out, I pre-order it. That's just the way my life works. I do know this has 12 different stories in it, and I'm really excited. And then I've got How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying by Django Wexler, and this is the start of a new dark humor fantasy. From what I gather, it says Groundhog Day meets Guardians of the Galaxy in this laugh out loud fantasy tale about a young woman who, tired of defending humanity from the Dark Lord, decides to become the Dark Lord instead. And this is an author I've absolutely loved before, and therefore it was an automatic pre-order. So I have a lot of books to read, at least a few of them I've actually already finished, so maybe that makes things look slightly better. No, it really doesn't. But that's okay. I'll also admit, because, you know, I'm being honest here, I'm about to go to the library and pick up more books because clearly I don't have enough to read. That is my haul for May. I am really excited about so many of these in here. If I could just find a way to absorb books even faster than I already do, that would be really helpful. Let me know in the comments below. Have you read any of these or any of these on your TBR? Do you have any thoughts on where I should start out of this absurdly large stack of books? What are you looking for reviews on? Anything, everything, let me know your thoughts below. And if you've made it this far and don't have anything to comment, please leave me a book-related emoji, because definitely books. Lots of books. Lots and lots of books. But that's it for me for now. I would really appreciate it if you could hit that like button below and subscribe if you're interested in more of my content. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate all of you, and I will catch you in the next video.